Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to City National Arena for Game 2 of this weekend series between the UNLV Skating Rebels, ranked 16th in the country, and the 5th-ranked Wildcats of Arizona. I'm Dana Lane. Thanks for joining us on the UNLV YouTube page. And last night, the 16th-ranked Rebels completed Phase 1 of their task by defeating the Wildcats 4-3 in a game that was close throughout, but Nick Sanders got the go-ahead goal at the 8:17 mark of the third period, and that proved to be the difference for UNLV. David Anderson, 28 saves to coincide with the Rebels' balanced scoring. And Paxton Malone, of course, chipped in with a goal and an assist. Hunter Mazzillo ended with a pair of assists in the win. Now tonight, David Anderson is back in goal for UNLV. But for Chad Berman's Wildcats, they have a change in goal. Nolan Bivolsic will be, or Bivolsic, as I was told to say, is in net for Arizona. But don't sleep on him because a 23-year-old from San Jose, California, or Los Gatos, to be more exact, California, is just as good, or at least in that same vein as Chiro is. And so this is not going to be a situation where the Rebels are facing the Arizona backup. He's 7-3 on the season with a 2.08 goals against, save percentage over 91%. So settle in as UNLV and Arizona, and this is a huge game for both teams, and we'll further explain why as we go on in the broadcast. But as far as the national rankings are concerned, UNLV would sure like to hand the 5th-ranked team a sweep, and that has certainly bolstered their chances for an automatic berth in the ACHA tournament. So we have our first whistle tonight. 42 seconds gone in the first period. Turcotte will take the draw for UNLV. He'll be opposed by Westland, and we'll do that once again. And you'll see with Turcotte what he'll do is they will drop the puck, and then he'll turn his body to try to get it back to Williams. So that's exactly what his goal is on these faceoffs, is to get it to Williams or give it to Malone. And then you'll see Malone sneak around the backside. So here's the faceoff, turn the body, doesn't win it back to Malone. Here's Williams. Williams that gets it back to Turcotte, who gets smashed for his efforts by Westland. Arizona back into the UNLV end. Tries to get the first shot off, and that's blocked in front. As UNLV is off to the races once again, but mucked up in the neutral zone. And so that breakout was thwarted by Arizona. Just over a minute gone, first period. And a huge weekend of City National. Great crowd on hand tonight, despite the fact that the Golden Knights are back home against Carolina. And before we go on any further, we want to congratulate the UNLV men's basketball team for getting a big win as a centering pass in front. No Rebel there to get a shot in on Bivolsic. I say that I'll practice between the periods. Just found out he was starting, so had to scramble for info. But going through the statistics, I definitely know that he's in the top 15, top 20, just the same as Churro is. So it's not a gimme for UNLV just because there's a backup in there for sure. Puck bounces around neutral zone as Arizona gets a change. The Rebels in control, trying to break out. That's Manning. Manning gets it up ice, but just out of the reach there of Erickson. And back the other way, here comes Dungy, the name we didn't call him very much last night. And Dungy poked it up, and he gets it in deep. And there's that first shot, goes wide of Anderson. And the puck bounced back out in front into the low slot area. I believe that puck came out of the zone, so Arizona can't touch it, which they did not. Sachs gets it for a second, decides to dump it, peels away as UNLV makes a change. First goal tonight, very important, and we see Arizona trying to take advantage of the middle of the ice, which both teams really want to do tonight. You control the middle of the ice, you control the game. Rebels trying to throw it into the zone. It's a delayed offside, so they will not be able to bring it into the zone. There's Jones. And so far, Chad Berman is not happy with his effort. And you could feel, I talked to him before the game a little bit, and you can kind of feel that he's trying to be cool, but he also knows that his team needs a win against UNLV to maintain their position in the ACHA standings, which is at 5 right now. Bivolsic comes out to make the play. Flanders tries to center and pass. Shot in on Bivolsic, and he makes a save off the shoulder. UNLV still maintains possession in the offensive zone. Cross-ice pass looking for Williams just outside the stretch stick of Williams, but Eric still able to maintain control as he backhanded it back into the Arizona end. Fight there along the boards. Here's Flanders. Flanders, big hero last night, backhander. And Bivolsic makes the save. And finally outside of the Arizona end. But just like last night, UNLV in control as a shot in on Anderson. Anderson makes the easy save and pushes it aside. 3.5 gone first period, still scoreless. As we were last night, two teams that, at least on the scoreboard, two teams that were evenly matched last night. And one thing UNLV has done a very good job of in the last two games is staying out of the penalty box. In fact, in Utah, they only had 18 total minutes of penalty time, which is a little uncharacteristic for one of the most penalized teams in the ACHA. Underwood wins the draw, still maintains possession. It's in his skates right now, can't find it, finally turns around and moves the puck. There's Timur. Timur looking for some room. Harassed there by Salafos. And then finally able to get it up to the left point, but not out. Puck does finally get out of the neutral zone, but there for UNLV is Sachs. As the Rebels try to go in 3-on-1. Loose puck in front. The backhander. And Underwood was there to try to finish it, but just a little bit behind him. Good opportunity for Underwood as he was in all alone. And the puck was just behind him, so he really couldn't get a lot on it. The Rebels back into the Arizona end. Here's Turcotte. Turcotte going 1-on-3. Sachs off for a quick change. Shot, save. And UNLV finally gets their first shot on goal. And check that, it might be their second, but the scoreboard says 1, so we'll go with that until we know differently. But going through the memory banks, I think that's the first shot on goal. Hull had it for a second, and now we have an injured Rebel that's down on the ice. And we'll see exactly who that is before we. And it looks like Kane Toriumi is down, and the first thing he grabbed is his knee, unfortunately. And a trainer's going out right now to take a look at him, and losing Toriumi off that top line is huge if, in fact, he can't return tonight. Dylan Caldwell, the UNLV trainer, is out to tend to Kane Toriumi when he's looking at his leg right now, and Kane is still down with his back on the ice, as you can see. And Jared Turcotte over there to lend some emotional support. Now Toriumi is up. He's at least sitting up. And the key in these situations is how do you leave the ice? And they're straightening out his leg right now, and it's pretty quiet in here right now because most people understand what he means to the UNLV. And now he's getting up and see if he's going to be helped off the ice. And he's not putting any weight on that left knee. So we'll get an update on Toriumi, and we'll give that to you. But tough to see that. kid that was been instrumental in UNLV's evolution into the plus side of the win-loss column this year. So 5:43 gone in the first period, no score. Face-off will be right of Anderson. And the Rebels win this draw, and they got to get their heads back in this game, and perhaps in some ways that will inspire them to move forward as DeMizio quickly gets it into the offensive zone, but nobody there for UNLV to help out, so Arizona was able to poke it away quick. And back down the other end. Here's a backhander in on Anderson. Anderson's down, makes the first save, doesn't make the second, and Arizona takes a 1-0 lead. Now, we'll get exactly who scored that goal, but it looks like there was a rebound in front. Arizona pounced on the puck and backhanded it. And it looks like Bailey Marshall, the St. Charles, Illinois native. And Bailey Marshall looks to be the Wildcat who put Arizona on the board 1-0. So for UNLV, of course, seeing Kane Toriumi go off has got to be something that's going to take the air out a little bit, but they have to get refocused and understand that this is a game that they need to win. And indeed it was Bailey Marshall, but the PA system's a little bit soft, so we couldn't hear that. It's backhander pass to Flanders, who was trying to toe the line to make sure he wasn't offside. Pass was behind him, so he wasn't able to fully do anything with it, although he didn't have any help. And the puck goes back, glides down the length of the ice for an icing, so we'll be back in the Arizona end for a face-off. And remember last night, guys and girls, Arizona scored, and it didn't take UNLV long to get the matching score until the last two goals came from UNLV's stick. So we'll see what UNLV does. And historically, the knock against Arizona is after they score a goal, they're always a little soft for a second. So we'll see if UNLV can take advantage of that. Shot in on Bivelsic. Bivelsic down to make the pad save. And finally thrown out of the zone by Dungy. Arizona makes a change. Here's Mazzillo. Mazzillo tries to get into the offensive zone, finally does. Backhand and a forehand move there by Salafos. Couldn't get a shot off on Bivelsic. Arizona's done a good job tonight of not allowing us. Now we're going to have a penalty. We'll see exactly who that's on. Probably, my guess is it's on UNLV, potentially a hooking call, but it's on the other end of the ice, so we'll just make sure we give you accurate information. Of course, last night, UNLV never allowed, and of course, and that penalty is going up on UNLV. So Arizona has a chance to take a 2-goal lead here, and as we know in this, watching 4 3+ periods of hockey between these two teams, a 2-goal lead is a big lead, especially when you have two teams that are so evenly matched. So Arizona going back to set up. There's Hull. Hull there, he's the guy that he's going to occupy the middle of the ice. He is their quarterback on the power play as the Rebels are able to clear it and not allow Arizona to set up. So 1:30 to go in the power play. 12:04 to go first period. 1-0 Arizona. And the last night, Rebels never allowed Arizona to run away. In fact, the Cats had the lead. UNLV came back and scored 21, 25, and 50 seconds after every Arizona score. And then they got the go-ahead goal 40 seconds after they tied the game up. So we'll see if UNLV can not only kill this off, but tie this game up as history has dictated so far in these two games. Shot it on Anderson, and they score. Well, Anderson, we saw this clearly. He was blocked in front, couldn't see, and Arizona's getting a lot more traffic in front than they did yesterday. And UNLV is going to have to find a little bit of inspiration as Jones gets his second goal on the season, and Arizona has taken a 2-0 lead over UNLV. On that trip down, Arizona's done a fantastic job of getting traffic in front. And we're looking at the replay right now. And it's just a little flipping, and Jones saw a spot, and Anderson his sight lines were completely covered, so difficult for him to see the puck, but nonetheless, good on Arizona, recognizing when his vision was impaired, and they take a 2-0 lead. Now, for UNLV, they have got to find that intensity that they had last night. Back the other way. Shot and blocked in front, and a big hit. Rebels trying to maintain possession in the offensive end. Able to do so, and they know they need to get this next goal. The Wildcats playing with a little bit more intensity than they did last night. Turcotte goes after the puck. Gets it back out to the point, out to Plonsky. Plonsky loses it, and Arizona's able to poke it back out into the zone as Plonsky goes back to get it. Gets on off to Barry. Barry looking for room. Shot blocked in front. Puck is still loose, and we're going to have a penalty in front, and UNLV is going to the power play. So good job on UNLV getting to the front of the net now. And perhaps those 2 goals by Arizona woke them up, and really from a UNLV standpoint, all they have to do is get their first goal and make this a 1-goal game again. And really, ever since the Toriumi injury, they've been trying to flick the switch back on. And a power play goal would certainly do it, as the penalty is going to be on Rowe. Rowe's going out for 2 minutes, so UNLV gets their first man advantage of the night. Here's Sachs. Sachs deflected out of play. And we'll have another face-off just left of Bivolsic. Arizona's done a much better job of clogging up the neutral zone. That was one thing that the Rebels had tremendous amount of success in last night. Getting through that neutral zone and being able to access the offensive end quite easily. And they had numerous chances on the Arizona netminder, Churro. Here comes the Rebels. And poked away nicely, but still maintained possession in the Arizona end. Good strong stick by DeMizio. DeMizio cross feed, nobody there to pick it up, but DeMizio had a strong stick as he got slashed a couple times going into the Wildcat end. 1:17 left in the power play. Back the other way. Here's the DeMizio backhander, and he lays it off, and trying to finish it off with Sachs, but DeMizio the last couple times down the ice has made some terrific moves and set the Rebels up in the scoring position, but unfortunately just outside the, should I say the realm? We'll go realm. Trying to use different words. Expand the vocabulary tonight. There's Malone. Malone scores! Give and go with Muller! And that's exactly what UNLV needed. Paxton Malone buries one on a feed from Muller on a beautiful give and go. And they attack the middle of the ice, and UNLV gets that goal back, and it's 2-1 UNLV. Well, from a Rebel standpoint, that's exactly what they needed. They couldn't afford to give up that third goal, and a beautiful give and go between Muller and Malone as we're looking at it again, and Malone just buried it over Bivolsic's shoulder, and it's 2-1 Arizona. See if there's a secondary assist. And it looks like the secondary assist is going to go to Asaf. So big goal there. Paxton Malone coming up big when UNLV needed him the most. And now we're going to have another penalty. We'll see what that's going to be on. And that's going to be on UNLV. And that's exactly what UNLV doesn't need to do. They just scored a goal, regained some of that momentum, and now they're going to have to go and kill off a penalty. And that's one of those penalties where I didn't see, but I heard it. And word is it's going to be a 10-minute penalty. And I'm guessing they have Demizio up on the board right now, so we'll go with that. See if we can get some clarity on it. It's in that spot on the ice where we just can't see the corner. But we'll try to get the official announcement. But nonetheless, Arizona's going to the power play. Now we had 2-1, and they're in a position to get that goal back. And this is a and apparently there was also a penalty on Arizona that's not up on the board yet. And the word is that Hull is also going to go for. Now, we'll get the announcement before we speculate. There was some people that said 10, and that happened right after the play. So as soon as we get that announcement, we'll make sure we pass it on to you. One name that. Okay, well, the way it works out is also not good for UNLV. Manning is also going to go off. So now Arizona has a 2-man advantage. And Hull is out, obviously, on the ice, so it's not going to be on him. Hull gets it on off to Cusinelli, who's looking for his 3rd goal of the weekend. And UNLV is desperately trying to kill this off because they just grabbed momentum. And now Arizona's in a golden position to get it back. Shot in on Anderson, and Anderson makes a save, but Arizona's still able to maintain possession in their offensive end. Puck is loose in front. Arizona trying to get a stick on it and finally clear it out of the zone as UNLV gets a change. 1:20 to go in the power play. And Cusinelli goes back to regroup for UNLV. Cusinelli off to Marshall. Now back out to the left point. There's Cusinelli again. Cross crease pass, making UNLV go side to side. Cusinelli shoots, blocked in front. UNLV still trying to clear it. 55 seconds to go, and the 2-man advantage. Shot wide of Anderson. Rebels can't get a stick on it, but Arizona's just teeing off, and every shot off their stick goes wide of Anderson. Still able to maintain control. Here's Hull. Hull over to Cusinelli. Lays it back off to Hull. Hull walks in for a second, decides not to shoot. Then a shot from a sharp angle. Probably not the best shot that they could have taken. And then Cusinelli shoots, and that's blocked in front as UNLV is just forming a wall in front of Anderson and saying, well, tee off, boys, because you're not getting through all of us. And the Rebels clear it down the ice. 11 seconds to go. They get a quick change. Arizona tries to catch them in that change. 9 seconds to go on a 2-man advantage as Arizona trying to get them to go side to side, which is the only way they're going to get an opening. But the Rebels have killed off this 2-man advantage, and what has turned into a momentum grabber, or what was a momentum, taking the momentum back for Arizona, could very well give it right back to the Rebels. The problem when you don't score on especially 2-man advantages, that's going to pump up the team that managed to kill it off a little bit more. So we'll see how UNLV responds to that. Rebels back into the Arizona offensive zone. Manning shoots it back down just into the corner, lays it off nicely. And nobody could do anything with it as it jumps back out to the neutral zone. But 6:30 to go, first period. 2-1 Arizona. And a much more wide open, let's say a little bit more sloppy than last night. And offsides as Underwood comes into the zone. And that was close, but good call. So 6:17 to go, first period, 2-1 Arizona. We'd like to recognize the UNLV wrestling team who is here tonight supporting the hockey team, which is great to see cross-promotion among sports. And I'm sure they'll make a lot of noise tonight. Johansson will take the draw against Underwood. Johansson wins the draw, gets it back to Timur. Timur gets it up to Cusinelli. Cusinelli just dumps it in on Anderson as he had to make the save. Arizona able to still maintain possession in the offensive zone. And shoots it in off the backboards, hoping to get a good bounce. Puck loose in front. Anderson down. And now we have a whistle. And we potentially have another penalty. We'll see who that's on. And it was a whistle blown in the corner. I didn't see any definitive movement, and it doesn't look like there's going to be any penalty because that's where the puck might have jumped out of play, and again, it's all the way on the other side of the ice, and I haven't had a new glasses prescription in about 10 years, so. Anderson out to play the puck, but it hops over his stick. And that gives up possession for just a minute as the Rebels were trying to get it outside, trying to get into transition. That's one thing they have not done as well tonight is that thoroughbred mentality. And it hit on the left point. That was Dawson Marshall. Dawson and Bailey Marshall both play for Brothers Place for the same team. And now the hitting has definitely increased. The space on the ice is getting smaller, and up through the middle of the ice was Mazzillo as he was trying to make a move, and then he was bumped off the puck as the Arizona Wildcats go back in transition. Here's Cusinelli. Cusinelli trying to make a move, goes to his left, and then he runs out of room as he loses the puck. 4:50 to go, first period. And the Rebels 1-on-2 back the other way. There's Flanders trying to hold off two Wildcats. Doing a great job, still maintaining possession as UNLV was getting a change. Malone picks it up, speeding from left to right. Here's a dump in across ice, and great to see Kane Toriumi back on the ice for UNLV. That was a sloppy change by Arizona. See if UNLV could catch him in that, and they cannot. But I think at one point there was 9 Wildcats on the ice. Cross-ice pass. Does not find its mark on over to Toriumi. And Toriumi looks like he's trying to work that knee out a little bit, but at least it's good to see him back on the ice as Turcotte picks up the puck. He gives it up now as Hull turns around. Hull from Fenton, Missouri, the team's leading assist leader, or leading the Wildcats in assist, I should say. There's Toriumi. Let's see if he's got that burst. Cross-ice pass and a block and a stick save by Bivolcic. And we'll just watch Toriumi a little bit. Now he's skating. He's got his head down a little bit. I think it's good to see him out there, but I think he's struggling just a little bit. But he had the awareness to at least get a backhander off on Bivolcic, and Bivolcic was able to stick it aside quite easily. Rebels win the draw. Shot wide of Bivolcic. Played there by Jones as he flipped the puck out of the zone. Now chased there by Hetzel. Stolen in front, and the puck finds its way into Anderson. Anderson down to make the easy save as he pushes it into the corner. And check that was Erickson. There's a backhander. Good opportunity there by DeMizio. He scored on that last night. Didn't get that one on net. Turnover in front. There's Manning. Manning trying to make a move to the front. Harassed there by Rowe. Gets it out to the right point. Then shoved back down deep. Indeed, that is. Yeah, that is Erickson. He's 6s and 8s. I'm telling you in the offseason, next time we have a meeting, I'm going to say names on the back because 6s and 8s are the same. Of course, I think Connor Hetzel is a scratch tonight, which gives him an opportunity to work on his music. If you haven't seen his YouTube page, or his Twitter page, it's amazing the talent that this kid has. 2:30 to go, first period. Puck loose in a high slot. Olsen had it for a second. Couldn't do anything with it. And right now, the puck doesn't have a consistent home as it's going back and forth between Rebel and Wildcats. Rebels back to regroup as they're going to start their offense. Olsen forechecking for a second. Puck goes down to ice. Chased there by Salafos. Salafos gains control. Hit up along the boards as Arizona. Jones follows the check. And that's one thing about the Wildcats. You can guarantee that they are going to finish every check as you should. 2-1 Arizona, 1:47 to go first period. No score last night in the first, 3 tonight. Sachs made a move and is just backhanded on over Fisher. Puck was loose for a second shot on Bivolsic. And good job on Fisher. Fisher trying to cause some havoc in front of Bivolsic, and he is pushed out of there. Arizona does a fairly good job of making sure that their netminders see the puck coming in. Here's Flanders. Nobody in front, so he decides to make a move. Tripped up by Jones. Puck held in by Asaf. Asaf just pushes it in. Shot, and Bivolsic makes a save. And Moeller had it in all alone. He's got it again, shoots high. And I think Bivolsic was handcuffed a little bit by that shot. Fortunately for him, it hit his shoulder and it goes out of play. 49 seconds left in the first period, 2-1 Arizona. Turcotte will take the draw for UNLV. Turns, wins the draw back to Malone. Shot and a save by Bivolsic. So Plonsky gets it back, and exactly what we talked about what he's going to do. Turcotte is going to try to win that draw back to Malone or back to Plonsky. Doesn't win it cleanly that time, but UNLV, at least for a second, is able to maintain possession. Good play there by Malone, preventing a stretch pass and potentially a one-on-one with Derek Anderson, or David Anderson. Derek's the quarterback. Shot in on Anderson, blocked in front. Anderson gloves it with 20.7 seconds left. And Arizona, from a momentum standpoint, you'd have to say that they feel good about where they are, and if it stands at 2-1, even after 20 minutes, they have to feel good, but there's also going to be something in the back of their mind saying, I think we played way better than we did last night, and we only have a 1-goal lead. I think there's definitely another level that UNLV can amp their game up to, and so that should provide some confidence headed into the second period that they weathered the storm and didn't play their best hockey. And that's going to do it for the first period as the horn sounds from City National. And at the end of the first period, Arizona will take a 2-1 lead into the break. And we'll be back to City National Arena after the first period intermission for second period play between the 16th ranked UNLV Skating Rebels and the 5th ranked Arizona Wildcats. And welcome back to City National Arena for second period action between the Arizona Wildcats and the UNLV Skating Rebels. Thanks for joining us on the UNLV YouTube page. My name is Dana Lane. And the second period face-off just about ready to happen. I guess I'm trying to look for a bigger word. Underwood will take the draw, loses the draw, and UNLV trying to erase a 2-0 deficit as they start the second period. And a shot in, deflected wide, doesn't get in on Bivolsic as the puck goes all the way down the ice for icing. With just 19 seconds to go in the second period. And it will be interesting here to see if UNLV can get their transition game going. Also interesting to see if Kame Toriumi returns to the ice and in what shape he's in. Because after you have a few minutes to rest and kind of relax a little bit, you know, that knee, no matter if it's his knee or not, I'm just speculating, but that knee could tighten up a little bit. So we'll see if he returns to the ice. It'll be great to see him if he does. But in the meantime, UNLV has plenty of horses to get this thing tied up. Puck loose in a neutral zone, chased there by Underwood. Underwood, big hit along the board, backhanded down deep by Salafos, doesn't make it quite into the Arizona end. Anderson out to play the puck. Backhander by Mazzillo as he was being harassed by Bailey Marshall. Backhander into Bailey Marshall, and he shoots it up, and he gets a piece of Anderson's shoulder. I'm not sure he got all of it. And the Rebels back in transition. There's Sachs. Sachs gets and decides to just dump it into the corner. Good idea there. There's a difference between just getting it low and trying to win a puck battle and giving up position than shooting the puck in down low with a purpose. Williams back to play it. Backhands it off to Manning. Puck was taken away for a second by Meyer. Meyer had it fly right by his stick and wasn't in position to make a play. As Asaf was finally able to go back and corral it. There's Williams. Williams turns around with his head up, and he gets a big hit from Bailey Marshall. And we give the first names because Bailey and Dawson are part of the Arizona Wildcats roster. Good move there by DeMizio. He tried to juke, and now one-on-one backhander. And Cusinelli was trying to get back on the board again tonight. And he had a huge second period yesterday for Arizona. And Cusinelli, like tonight, was non-existent in the first period. But in the second period last night, he certainly lit it up and had a couple goals, which he's no stranger to doing. And the faceoff will come down just to the left dot of Anderson as Turcotte will take the draw for UNLV. And Bird, who we have not called tonight, wins the draw momentarily, throws it on to Turcotte. Turcotte gets it around the boards up to Malone as he finally gets it out of the offensive zone. Malone was looking for a return pass, but overskated it, but the Rebels still maintain possession. Asaf floats one down, forces Bivolsic to come out and make the play. 17-14 to go, second period, 2-1 Arizona. And if the Rebels get this second goal and tie this thing up, I think we'll see a completely different change in their demeanor. But so far, so good in the second period, skating hard, getting some opportunities. There's Erickson, and Erickson shoots it in, and it is gloved by Bivolsic. Okay, so I've never been asked to do this before, but we'll do it quickly. Sue Johansson was here from Arizona as the face-off is down in the Arizona end, and she wanted to give a shout-out to Bailey Miranda from Algonquin, Illinois, who apparently is the girlfriend of Johansson on Arizona. So I told you I would, and you can consider that a shout out to Bailey Miranda. Here's Mueller into the offensive zone. Does get it on his stick, but poked away as it goes back into the neutral zone. Back to get it is Plonsky. Plonsky harassed for a second by Olsen as Olsen's trying to make sure UNLV doesn't have a clean setup. Fisher chases it for UNLV back behind Bivolsic as it goes in the corner. Now the puck is loose off the Westland. Westland backhander up the board, goes off on Anderson, and Westland trying to get it up to Melafronte, another player we haven't mentioned very much tonight. Another player that seems to get stronger as the game goes on. A turnover there as Westland goes in and forces a turnover in on Plonsky. No harm, no foul as UNLV was able to maintain possession, but back the other way. Here comes Arizona. Puck loose in front. Good pickpocket there by Salafos. Salafos going to the offensive zone. Pass, cross-ice pass, gets in on Bivolsic. Bivolsic makes a save with his pad, and the puck goes into the right corner. And both teams hitting harder. Back the other way, shot, save! Cusinelli was in all alone, and now back the other way for UNLV in transition. Cross-ice pass into the crease, and Turcotte was there, and Bivolsic makes a save. But Cusinelli was in all alone, and he is clearly the offensive leader of this Arizona Wildcat team. 15:09 to go in the second period. A big save by David Anderson. And the faceoff will come just left. And the left out of Bivolsic. Puck bouncing around the neutral zone. Now finds its way into the UNLV end. And now things get a little bit feisty as puck was loose for a second. Anderson having a problem getting back to his left post to secure the wide open net on the left side. Finally able to do so. Arizona couldn't take advantage. Blocker save. And now Slapper and Anderson makes another save as Jones came in and got a blast off, and a relatively easy save for Anderson. Most goaltenders at this level will make those wide open saves from that spot. The key is always to get some traffic in front, but Anderson's too big and too good to give up a lot of room for those type of slap shots. Rebels back down in the offense, and he shoots, score! A centering pass! And it was buried home right in front of Bivolsic, and UNLV has tied this game up at 2. And we're going to see the replay on this again. It was a clear centering pass. And I can tell you Chad Berman was not happy. And it was centering pass from DeMizio. And it looked like Manning got his stick on it. But here we go, 2-2, and this is exactly what we'll get the official announcement now. And Manning did get the goal, and now we're tied at 2, and it's Slapper from the point. That's Mazzillo. And it's just trying to listen to see if there was any other announcements. But you look over to head coach Chad Berman, he's certainly not happy because he knows his Wildcats have maybe taken a little bit of a step back from their intensity level coming out. This is a rink that UNLV does not lose in very much, so a 2-goal lead is not going to cut it on most nights. And the Rebels have fought back to tie this game up, and now they should have momentum as a turnover from Barry. Puck goes in a high slot area. Good opportunity there by Dungy, but it was stuck a little bit too deep. Wasn't able to get a stick on it. Now cross-crease pass and a save by Bivolsic. 13-12 to go, first period, and now the intensity level is right back where UNLV wants it. Dumped in by Dawson Marshall. Played there by Bazasov, not giving him much room. And now finally poked out of the offensive zone into the neutral zone. Rebels back in control. Here's the soft. Gets a feed from Williams as they're both back on the ice at the same time tonight. Pass up the middle, trying to find Fisher, but it was a little bit too hot and a little bit too high for Daniel Fisher to handle. With 12:30 to go in the second period. Shot wide. Bivelsick. And a puck thrown into the corner, but the Rebels certainly have amped their game up. Here's Williams, slapper save by Bivelsick. Puck will still loose. Nobody from UNLV to get a second opportunity as Arizona is able to clear the zone. But right back on it is Williams, thrown in down deep by Moeller. Puck goes wide as Bivelsick is forced to come out and play it for Arizona. And now Arizona's definitely on their heels a little bit as UNLV has taken over momentum. And if the Rebels end up winning this game, you could definitely point to two things. A, you can point to the losing a 2-goal lead, and the second thing you can point to is Arizona not being able to take advantage of a 5-on-3. Here's Salafos. Salafos lays it off in a save by Bivelsick as the puck is pushed to the corner. And Arizona's trying to find their legs once again. They're just happy to get it out of the zone, but here they come back the other way. Had some room for his second, but Cusinelli couldn't do anything with it, so he tried to flip it in on Anderson. Anderson made an easy glove save and escorted the puck to his right, to the right. Barry goes over to try to make a play. It's a 2-on-1 shot, and he missed the net. 2-on-1 opportunity, and Cusinelli was there, and he missed the net, trying to go top shelf, top right. And now back the other way. Here's Underwood. Underwood looking for a cross-ice pass, but nobody from UNLV in front, so Underwood gets ridden off into the corner. The puck finds its way out to the point. Arizona has a 3-on-2. They hurry. Good shot. Saved by Anderson. Goes back out to the left point. Now it's taken by Underwood. Back over to Sachs. Sachs trying to use his speed. Lays it off to the point. Cross crease pass. Doesn't find its mark. And both teams are playing much more wide open hockey than they did last night, as there were many more opportunities, and the crowd finally comes to life. A great crowd here at City National as usual. Puck is loose in front. And Arizona finally able to maintain control, and we're going to have a penalty on UNLV, and that's going to clearly be interference or holding, but one of the two, and Arizona's going to go on a power play, something UNLV did not need, but perhaps not the worst penalty in the world because of Arizona. It might even be a hooking call, but Arizona was able to get control of that puck. They could have been in 2-on-1, so not the worst penalty in the world, but nonetheless for UNLV, this is an opportunity to build on a little bit more, build some more momentum, potentially killing off a power play. And for Arizona, this is a chance to grab it right back again. Out to the point, slapper blocked in front. Puck is loose, and it was a matter of inches from going in, but nobody there from the Wildcats could get a stick on it quick enough. As the Wildcats still maintain possession. Here's Johansson, who has a girlfriend that wants him to, well, we won't finish that sentence. Blocked in front, puck is still loose. Anderson makes the save, and the Rebels clear. 9:40 to go, second period, 1:28 left in the power play. And a game tied at 2. And I got to think, in some ways, if Arizona does not have a productive power play here, it's got to play a little bit in their mind that they couldn't hold a 2-goal lead, couldn't score on a 5-on-3, and now having a hard time even getting set up on a power play. As the Rebels doing a great job of stacking the blue line and not allowing access. .56 seconds left in the power play. Arizona goes back to regroup. And puck thrown into the middle, intercepted by Underwood. Underwood tried to clear it, didn't get a full clear, so Arizona's able to get it right back. Cusinelli trying to make a move, trying to get her wrister off his stick. Wasn't able to do it, but the puck is still loose, and then Malafronte was still trying to get a secondary shot off, and his stick wasn't quick enough to get good wood on it either. as the Rebels are finally able to clear with 19 seconds left in the power play. And the Rebels are real close to killing off another one. But here's a rush by Arizona. There's a shot, and the net comes loose. Westland came in, and he was trying to get it past Anderson, but the net was loose before Westland got a stick on it. And one thing about Arizona, sometimes you think you got them, and then they'll take advantage of your sloppiness, especially if it's on a power play. And right there was a good chance for the Wildcats to score, but bad news for them, only 10 seconds left, and the faceoff was won by UNLV. So this will probably do it for the power play if they don't turn it over quick. Manages to get it outside the zone. Johansson gets it for the Wildcats, and good forecheck there by the Rebels as they send it into the high slot area. Picked off by the Wildcats. Turcotte finally has it on the stick. Now we haven't seen, I don't think we've seen Toriumi come back, and that was kind of, I think he came back to try it. And we'll see how, get a report on him, and hopefully he's going to be okay. Mazzillo gets it back for UNLV. There's really nobody back there to help out, and now DeMizio comes back and Turcotte comes back, and everybody said, oh, you need some help. So Malone tries to carry it outside the zone, is finally able to do that, but intercepted by Lowell. Lowell tried to backhander, goes way wide of Anderson. Malone picks it up for UNLV, gets it up quickly to DeMizio. DeMizio trying to make a move and had it poked away as Arizona was quickly into the UNLV end once again. And it seems like the last couple minutes after the power play, Arizona is trying to find that little 10% extra that they haven't had in the last couple minutes. Here's Turcotte. Turcotte back the other way. Lays it off. Tries to get in position for a return pass and wasn't able to do so. The Rebels back. Here's Williams. Williams shoots it wide as he got good wood on that, but not on net. 6:36 to go in the second period. This second period has flown by, but the Rebels, the only team that has found the back of the net here in the last 13, 50, 25. Lusby comes in and makes David Anderson work for a second, and it gets the puck back. Check that, that's Mayer. And Meyer comes in and gets a secondary shot off based on good hard work. And Anderson was there to make the save. Really good weekend, well attended on Lou Tavano Appreciation Weekend. Of course, Lou's many contributions to both UNLV and Arizona. Made it a great time to honor him this weekend. And that's exactly what these two teams have done as the Rebels win the draw. Jumped on by Salafos as he was able to throw it down the length of the ice. We'll have an icing. So Bazasov is playing in his 131st game as a Rebel. Tristan Mayer not suited up tonight, has a 121. He's second. Connor Hetzel's 113. And Jake Sachs will be playing in his 104th game. And UNLV, from a standpoint of depth, they really have a good mix of kids that have been to the national tournament before, won a lot of hockey games, but this is also still an extremely young team. And you go up and down their roster as Underwood tries to make a move, trying to find some open space. Can't get a shot off. Now the puck goes back to the point. Shot and a whiff as Arizona is able to throw it back out of the zone. Flanders tried to get one off his stick, but got more of the ice than they did the puck. And he's off now for a change. Shot in on Anderson. Anderson gives up a rebound and a secondary shot. Makes that pad save. Now big hit along the Arizona boards. Johansson strong with his stick as he's being harassed by Connor Hetzel. Okay, well, Connor is on the ice tonight. Okay. There's Moeller. Moeller centering pass, shoot, and gets wide of Bivolsic. So maybe I have been seeing 6s and 8s all night. All right. Well, then we'll say that Connor Hetzel is playing in his 114th game as a Rebel. Puck finds its way in on Anderson. Good stick work there. Fisher goes back down the ice, throws it into the Arizona end. Rebels are able to maintain control in the corner with 4:22 to go in the second period. Game tied at 2. And we're kind of getting to the point now with Arizona. There's a huge hit in the corner. Puck is loose in front. Shot, save by Bivolsic. And that was a good opportunity there for the Rebels as it found its way into Nolan. And Nolan Bivolsic makes the save, but plenty of traffic in front. And that's what UNLV is going to have to do to beat him. As far as Arizona is concerned, they probably have, if not the best, a top 3 to 5 tandem in the ACHA between Bivolsic and Anthony Churro. Rebels able to win the draw, keep it into the Arizona end. Puck goes high, and Bivolsic lost it for a second. Don't think it ever got on goal. Demizio tried a turnaround shot, but that was blocked nicely in front. Arizona and UNLV go for a change. Arizona mass change. And Williams is going back to quarterback this next rush down the ice, but being harassed nicely there by Westland, and he forced UNLV to go back and play defense. Westland. And we're going to have an offside. Okay, I was about ready to jump out of the arena on that one. 3:17 to go, first period. Game tied at 2. Arizona comes into the game ranked 17th in the country in offense. They average 4 goals a game. After last night, they scored only 3 goals, but they moved up 2 spots from 19th. But the strength of this Wildcat team is certainly defensively, where they are a top 10 defensive team. And last night they suffered their first loss on the road in a place where a lot of people suffer losses here in Las Vegas. I didn't mean that how it came out, but we'll leave it at that. That was kind of clever as Malone throws it in, and saved by Bivolsic. So 2:46 left in the second period. Game tied at 2. Arizona 7-2-1 in their last 10 games. And UNLV, with their 5-game winning streak, is tied for 4th in the ACHA with consecutive wins. And, of course, Jamestown, Arizona State, who is blast from the point, doesn't get through the Bivolsic as it gets steered aside. But Barry got good wood on that one as Arizona back in transition. Johansson trying to find somebody in front. Now regains possession and gets it in on Anderson. Anderson made a stick save and just threw it to the corner. Now back down the other side of the ice with 2:14 to go. Jamestown, Arizona State, and Central Oklahoma have all won 8 straight games, but right behind them is UNLV, one of the hottest teams in the ACHA. And if they can knock off the 5th-ranked team in the country, well, we'll just have to see what happens when the next computer rankings come out. But now Arizona back the other way, one-on-one. Backhander saved by Anderson, but then it trickles through. Anderson was in position, but Arizona takes a 3-2 lead. I thought it got caught underneath his pad, but Anderson really couldn't do anything about that, and that's about the 3rd time tonight he's had to go one-on-one with a Wildcat to make the save. Thought he got a pad on it, but quickly realized that it did find a way over the goal line, and Arizona takes a 3-2 lead. So we'll see how UNLV reacts with 1:44 to go in the period. And Hull was going to get the goal. That's his fourth. I believe that's what the PA announcer said. He's either goal or an assist on that, but I think it was a goal on that as well. Never turned, so we didn't see his number. But nonetheless, Arizona takes a 3-2 lead over Arizona, so talks about sweeps are premature at this point as UNLV needs to tie this game back up with just 1:11 to go in the first period. And now a 3-on-2 back the other way. Shot in on Anderson as Meyer tried to get a laser off his stick, and now we're going to have another penalty. Now another one-on-one, and Anderson makes this save. As walking in all alone was Rowe and a backhander. Don't know if he got all of it, but Anderson was certainly down to make that save. And UNLV is also going to have to kill off a penalty, so not the way that they want to end this second period with 54 seconds left. And Arizona kind of feeling it a little bit because they know if they can convert on this power play, they are going to put UNLV back into a position to come back from two, as Manning will go off for two. He'll go off for 2 minutes in here with the official call, as I'm sure will come up in a second. Here's Jones. Jones cross-ice pass to Timur. Timur wheels around, gives it back to Jones. Jones hands it off to Lowell. Back to Jones. Shot in on Anderson. Makes a save on a pad save and pushes it to the corner. Picked up there by Johansson. And now the referee is not happy with somebody over in the UNLV bench, and he's going to go over, and of course I can't see all the way down there, but I'm guessing, talking to head coach Anthony Vigneri-Greener, who is probably not happy about something, and the referee's not happy about something either because he pointed at somebody, and I'm just guessing it's on the UNLV bench. So we'll see how this all plays out. It's funny, we're talking to Chad Berman in between periods, the head coach for Arizona, and makes a little comment about sometimes he doesn't always agree with all the officiating that goes on here at City National. But so far it's benefited him tonight. And they're still trying to figure things out. We'll watch the scoreboard to see if anything additional goes up. Now the referee's going over to talk to one of the Wildcats. And I'm going to guess it looks like potentially a second penalty will go up for UNLV. And indeed that has just happened. So Sachs will get the second penalty, and this is not the way. And we'll see if this is I'm not sure, this might be a bench minor. But maybe not. I'm not sure if Sachs would be the one to take that. I mean, unless it was on him. So UNLV is back to a position where they have to kill off a two-man Arizona advantage with 34 seconds left, down 3-2. And Arizona looking to take a 4-2 lead into the second period. Now Bozasov, one of the UNLV captains, comes over and talks to one of the officials, and now we're going to finally drop the puck. So these are big face-off wins for UNLV, and they were able to win it. Good job there by Underwood, who took the draw cleanly and throws it back down the ice with 26 seconds left in the second period. Arizona looking to have that 2-goal lead back. Back out to the point. Here's Cusinelli. Cusinelli lays it off, blocked in front nicely. Good job there by Underwood. Cusinelli looking for the puck, finally gets it. Gets it in down low. Shot, cross-crease pass, and Anderson is down to make the save. And good idea there by Malafronte. who tried to get Anderson to go from side to side and find a Wildcat teammate on the left side, but not able to do so, as the Rebels so far are able to kill off at least a few seconds of this power play. 1:09 to go in the first penalty and 1:26 to go in the second. You guys don't know how much I'm squinting at the scoreboard to see that. And that's going to do it for the end of the second period. So the good news is that UNLV was able to take some time off of that power play. The bad news is they'll have to come out and still deal with a 2-minute penalty, the two penalties. But the good news to that is if they're able to do so, then that could switch momentum back to their side as well. But nonetheless, after 2 periods, they're down 3-2. And we'll be back after the second intermission on the UNLV YouTube page for their third period action. And welcome back to City National Arena, where they are finally playing a song I recognize as Ben Sevenfold is going over the loudspeaker. Don't get me wrong, there's love for hearing Miley Cyrus 4 times, but nothing wrong with a little advance. Anyway, 20 minutes left at City National, where the Arizona Wildcats are trying to take one game of this weekend series of the 2. And UNLV, to open up the third period, has to kill off a 2-man advantage. And the first penalty is over in 47 seconds. The second, which was a bench minor, 1:06. So UNLV's got their work cut out for them as Arizona is finally into the UNLV end. And hold the quarterback on this power play, tries to keep it in the zone, but the clearing pass goes way beyond his stick. And Arizona has to go back down and regroup. Bivolsic goes out and makes the initial pass as he gets it up to Cusinelli. And Arizona is still in the UNLV end. Here's Hull. Gets it back. Cross crease pass. Doesn't get a shot off. Yeah, here's Cusinelli. Cusinelli gets it down low. Again, right in front of Anderson as Anderson gets a stick on it and it goes on a play. So first penalty is over and UNLV's 15 seconds away from killing off the second penalty. And that should gain them a little bit of momentum. A long way to go here as we're just a minute plus deep into the third period. And we'll go through all the potential playoff scenarios and why this is a huge game for the Rebels. Shot in, puck still loose as there's a rebound. And Hull found a little bit of a hole, shall we say, and gets it off his stick and finds its way on to Anderson's glove as he freezes as he jumped on the rebound. As we mentioned yesterday, all the winners of the division, and UNLV plays as an independent. Next year, they'll go to the same division as Arizona. All the winners of the division, whether it's by playoff or regular season title, gets an automatic bid to the national tournament in Frisco, Texas. And the problem comes when only the top 20 teams top 20 teams go, as the Rebels are able to kill off this second power play, but Arizona's still in control, but now finally gives it up as the Rebels get it in outside the zone. Pass in the middle and didn't find its way to Sachs, but then a shot by Underwood finds its way over to Bivolsic, and Bivolsic is down to make the save. So we'll have a face-off in the right dot. So the top 20 teams make the postseason, and you think, well, shoot, UNLV's number 16 right now with a big win over Arizona, good win over Minot, so they shouldn't move up. And that is true, but unfortunately for them, they really want to stay clear of the 18 and above because there's teams below them that will get in, below them in the computer rankings that will get in because they won their division. So I know it's it's a little bit to grab onto, but basically for UNLV, the bottom line is win these games, and a new computer ranking will come out on Wednesday. And we haven't had a computer ranking according to the ACHA website in about a month. So not only as Dungy goes into it gets it in finally in on Anderson. Dungy looked for a trailer, then I think tried to bank it off the back of Anderson's pad, and he was there to make the save. Of course, Adrian College is tops once again, I think 12th straight week. Anderson down to make another save off the face-off win. Good shot there by Dungy, but Anderson was in position to make the easy save. Adrian College is number one, I think, for the 12th straight week. And really, if you watch them play, they're clearly the best team in the ACHA. Here's Hull. Hull decides to shoot it towards Anderson, but deflected in front, never found its way in on Anderson. As Arizona still maintaining possession, and UNLV trying to find that extra 10% to grab that intensity level back as they're down 3-2 with 17:30 to go. Plenty of time. Arizona doing a good job making UNLV go left to right, and that's what you want to do. Reverse the puck on most teams if you're able to. Malone trying to dump it in deep, but not a good dump in as it was deflected and didn't get anywhere near where Malone had hoped it would. Good deflection there by Hedgecoat. Chase there by Manning. Arizona does turn it over in their own end. There's a backhander pass on over to Manning. Manning was already a little bit too deep, couldn't do anything with it. There's Williams over to Asaf. Asaf shoots it in, deflected in front. We're going to have a penalty, see who touches it up, and it looks like Arizona touched it, so from a UNLV standpoint, it looks like a high sticking, and I think UNLV is going to go to the power play on this. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So UNLV has an opportunity to get this goal back with 16:40 to go in the third period. Face-off in the left dot, just about ready to happen as Bivolsic is taking a drink of water, but they decided not to drop it quick. Rowe picks it up for Arizona. On off. Now it finds its way back out to the point. Now over to Underwood. Underwood wants a return pass. Finds its way to the middle of the ice. Now he's on that. Now he shoots, and it's a save by Bivolsic. And Underwood, you could see what was going to happen there as he crept down, hoping to get that open net. A la Ovechkin. He gets a lot of power play goals that way. 1:20, 1:17 left in the power play for UNLV. Down by one, and these are the opportunities you want to take advantage of as the crowd gets into it once again for UNLV. There's Mazzillo. Mazzillo down to Moeller. Moeller decides to throw right back out to the point. Over to Barry. Barry loses it momentarily, but maintains control. Back over to Mazzillo. Mazzillo sees an opening. Pad save. And Arizona barely able to clear it out of the zone, but it does find its way all the way down. So Barry goes back to regroup, but quickly back the other way with 40 seconds left. Barry thrown into the glass. UNLV in the centering pass, and good job there and good stick work. As Arizona is able to clear it. I'm gonna tell you, I'm looking at their sleeves looking for numbers, and I see a cactus, and it drives me insane. But we're just talking here. Williams throws it in deep. Chase there by Asaf. And clear back down the ice nicely by Meyer. Got a Meyer. Tristan's used to always saying Meyer. So Arizona kills off that penalty, and potentially off to the races there was Dungy, but it was outside the reach of his stick. There was nobody in front if he was able to maintain possession. So 14:29 to go, third period, 3-2 UNLV. Face off in a right dot. And I will say they're not getting a lot of help from the teams in front of them, but a quality win over Arizona would certainly help them as the Rebels maintain control. Here's Flanders, deflected in front as the puck bounces around, and nobody there as Fisher almost had a stick on it, but it rolled away from Fisher, so nothing of quality. Now Anderson's down and they score. Well, that's a huge goal for Arizona now as they've opened up the lead again to 2 goals, and Anderson thought he had it for a second. He was hugging the post, and how that got through him, I'm not sure, but we're going to give that goal to Olsen. Looks like he scored, the Minnesota native gets his 5th of the year, and Arizona opens up a 4-2 lead on UNLV. And the Rebels really need to go to work right now. But aggressively, the Wildcats back into the UNLV zone. Now had it poked away as Westland was trying to make a move. Good stick work by the Rebels, but they need to answer fairly quickly because this is a good, as we mentioned earlier, one of the best defensive teams in the ACHA. And it was a turnover in front, and I'm not sure the Wildcats did UNLV a favor by actually clearing it out of their own zone. But back to get it was Malafronte, and the rubber finally makes its way into Anderson's glove for a whistle. So 13:26 to go. And as we mentioned, UNLV's not getting a lot of help. 15th ranked Pittsburgh Panthers, University of Pittsburgh, beat West Virginia last night. They played Penn tonight. They figured to win that game. Drexel won their game last night against Townsend 10-1. Villanova, they beat them tonight 3-0. So nobody really in front of them. Central Michigan was off. They'll play Midland next week. Missouri State did help out UNLV a little bit by beating number 12 Oklahoma. But the Rebels got to take control of business tonight. And you only worry about the teams in front of you if you're beating the one in front of you. Good cross, good pass to the middle. Bailey Marshall had it for a second, was trying to make a move. A good quick stick work by the Rebels as they throw it in on Bivolsic. Back out to the right point. Rister, nobody in front, and good save there. I think it was blocked in front before it got to Bivolsic. Now turnover, here's Turcotte. We haven't mentioned Turcotte in quite a bit, and really without Kane Toriumi in the lineup, you're taking out a lot of heart and speed. As Arizona getting it down deep into the UNLV end. And that corner centering pass in front. Now back out to the left point. Here's a wrister inside, get blocked in front. As Arizona has taken the 2-goal lead and also has maintained. Here's a pass to the middle, but Plonsky wasn't able to handle it properly. He did have good position, but not enough to get a strong shot off. And one thing Arizona has done tonight is really just taken away the middle of the ice. They've made it difficult for UNLV. Here's Sachs. Sachs decides to get one off his stick, and that's deflected out of play. So the Rebels' speed tonight has not been noticeable as it was last night. And all these face-offs right now are huge face-off wins. As Sachs loses the draw, picked up there by Timor. Timor bounced off bodied off the puck by Underwood as the Rebels able to maintain control, but Asaf tried to go D to D with Williams, and an errant pass made Williams have to go back out of the zone for the puck, and everybody had to come out and clear. Wrister in on Anderson by Olsen, and a save as Anderson was in position, as he usually is. So plenty of time left, 11:05 to go. But the Rebels certainly are going to have to get one, and not only because it makes it a one-goal game, but just regain some of that momentum as Arizona's just kind of playing their game and finishing their checks and leaning on UNLV, taking the middle of the ice away. And the Rebels have not been able to use their speed tonight. And here's a turnover, but 3-on-1 ensued, and there was nothing that Daniel Fisher was going to be able to do about that. Here's Rowe. Rowe gets it on over to Bird. Bird gets turned around as the Rebels took control of the errant pass, but still not able to do anything with it. Back the other way. Here's Salafo. Salafo centers it, Nobody there, blocked in front. Back the other way is Malafronte for Arizona. And he decides just to get it in the zone so Arizona can make a change. 11:20 to go, third period. Flanders calling for the puck. Gets it. Gets it poked away, but UNLV was able to get into the Arizona end. Spilled there was Fisher. Fisher was looking for maybe a call, but looked clean. Was right in front of me. So we're at the 10-minute mark of the third period. And Westland maintains control just for a second, and Arizona always seems to have three men back, and they're doing a really good job as DeMizio was trying to make a move. And guys that we have not mentioned in quite a bit, DeMizio, Turcotte, Malone, even Sachs has not said his name in a long time, and those are the guys that UNLV needs to get back into this hockey game. Manning spilled in front, no call. Turnover as Arizona maintains possession. And they're going to, Hull was trying to get some breathing room, and DeMizio said, I'll take your breathing room away. We're down by 2 goals, and I need the puck. He takes it, shot in, and a rebound, but nobody there as Malone was just out of the area. And a wrister went high on Bivolsek, and did come out quite a ways out front, but nobody there from UNLV to crash the net. The closest Rebel, as we mentioned, was Paxton Malone. But those are the guys that are going to have to step up their game right now. The guys on the ice right now. Malone, face-off win and a glove save. You see David Lenzen on the ice right now. He's a spark plug, and he's in control of the ice, or in control of the puck right now. Tried to dump it in. Not a great throw in as Rowe was able to intercept it, but here's a 2-on-1 Foreman the other way. Shot and another rebound. As Turcotte said, you haven't said my name, we'll say it now. Shot went high, and one thing that we've seen the last couple, and we're going to have a penalty. Last couple shots on Bivolsek that we've seen, you get it up high, and he's going to give up some pretty big rebounds. So my head coach, Anthony Vigneri Greener, I would say to the boys, get it up high and crash the net, because that's at least the second time in a row that Bivolsek has not been able to control the rebound off of a high shot. Thought there was a penalty call. Nothing's gone up on the board yet. And there's 5 Rebels out there and 5 Wildcats, so I guess that's no penalty. Lead pass over to Sachs, doesn't find its mark, and then losing an edge was Rowe. Turnover in front. Here's Muller. Muller shoots and blocked in front nicely. Sachs had it for a second, out to Muller. Muller back out to Barry. Wrister in, and now they are getting some shots in on Bivolsek. Next weekend here at City National. Go, guys, understand there's 4 home games left for UNLV, and next weekend is First Responders Weekend. Also for military members, they will get in free. And your family members come in with you for just $10. So come on out to City National Arena next week as the UNLV Skating Rebels take on nationally ranked Arizona State Wildcats. And now we have another Rebel down behind the play. And he's slowly getting up, and it is way down at the other end of the ice. So I'm not going to even speculate who it is at this point. But now he's up, and see if I can grab a number, but he's going to the bench. But now the officiating crew is having a powwow along the glass. Rebels are going to wear special jerseys next week. Then they'll auction off those jerseys via social media. 50% of the sales from the jerseys and 50 of the sales off the 50-50 raffle will go to the Las Vegas Emerald Society on Friday and the Las Vegas Police Sentinels on Saturday. So come out next weekend and support your nationally ranked Rebels against Arizona State. 4 home games left, all against nationally ranked teams. But they have some business to finish tonight. 7:25 to go in the game. And hold back to settle things down for Arizona. Shot in front and a great save by Anderson. And now Barry's going after one of the Wildcats, and he's not happy about something. And Barry is wrestling one of the Wildcats to the ground. He's on the ground, the linesman and the referee, and he is not happy about something. I'm trying to get a closer look at it. Barry finally gets up. And unfortunately for UNLV, it looks like that they will probably be the one being shorthanded, because I didn't see a penalty go up, but there was something Dawson Marshall did that Barry wasn't happy about, and it went right after him. So hopefully for UNLV, there will not be a penalty. I haven't seen it cannot not there cannot not be a penalty. I mean, Barry went right after Dawson Marshall. So there has to be a penalty, and I'm sure what it stems from, and I apologize, I don't have a replay monitor, but I'm sure what it stemmed from was there was a puck in down deep on Anderson, and I'm sure there was a little extra stick work, and Barry took exception to that, but there's no way that Barry doesn't get a penalty on this. At least roughing, you would think. And everybody's over, the officials are over to confer with each other. I mean, at the very least, hopefully this is a matching penalty. And it does look like it is going to be a matching penalty. So Barry and Marshall would both go off, and that's good news for UNLV. And it also does free up some space on the ice where Rebels hopefully can use their speed advantage to take advantage of a little extra room on the ice surface. Arizona wins the draw, keeps it down in the UNLV end, goes right back out to Rowe. Rowe dumps it back in, and it looks like we're going to have another penalty. This could go on Arizona, so UNLV, I think, is going to go to the power play. It's going to be a high sticking call, and that's indeed what's going to happen. So this is an important power play for UNLV as the 2 minutes go up on the board for Arizona. And Bailey Marshall's, well, both Dawson and Bailey have got penalties. And this would probably be a good time for UNLV to take a timeout. And judging by everybody going over to the bench, that's exactly what's happening. Dawson Marshall gets 2 minutes for roughing. And Bailey Marshall. And Bailey Marshall gets 2 minutes for high sticking. So I'm trying to hear the PA. Well, when you can't hear him, let's get the horn to go off. Anyway, the way it shakes out is UNLV is going to have a man advantage here. And the crowd's starting to wake up. So the Rebels are now going to have a man advantage, and this is probably, besides the two-man advantage, as good as they could ask for. Plenty of room on the ice. There's 4-on-3. And I would expect them to have a huge advantage in this situation. And the Rebels win the important draw. Back out to the point. Here's a wrister, and it goes wide. And a return shot! He said no, it didn't go in, and I would love to see a replay on that, but the Rebels maintain control. Slapper goes wide by Underwood. And you have to think that it didn't go over because Lewis was right there to look at it, but boy, I'll tell you by this, I thought it went in, but we'll never know. Back the other way. Here comes Mazzillo. And Arizona is able to clear it down, so that's a big clear by Arizona as there's 53 seconds remaining in the 4-on-3, and the Rebels will still have a 5-on-4 for a couple of minutes. And according to people that have seen the replay, did not cross the line, so good call there. Back out to Williams. Here's Asaf. Asaf back to Williams and a laser beam in front. Good deflection in front by Jones. Finds its way back to Asaf. Thinks about getting it off to Williams. Decides better to Malone. In front to Turcotte and outside the reach of his stick as Arizona is able to clear it down the ice. Hull got a hold of it and threw it down the length of the ice. But like we said, this should be a position where UNLV has opportunities, even more so in the 5-on-4, but there's plenty of room up there. Potential turnover in front by Malone. A good stick work as he was down on the ice to prevent the breakaway. Now the penalties are over and UNLV will have the man advantage for another, boy am I squinting, 5 seconds. And that's going to do it because UNLV had a great opportunity there. But with under 5 minutes to go in the third period, they're going to have to come back from a 2-goal deficit, 5-on-5, barring any other further penalties. And that's one thing for UNLV. They cannot afford any more penalties. Here's Muller. Muller trying to cross-crease pass. Couldn't find its way on over to Manning, and Manning would have buried that home if it found its way there. Plonsky gets it down low, and Volsic decides to jump up and grab the puck out of the air and freeze it. So 4:18 left in the third period, 4-2 Arizona. And Arizona looking for a weekend split, and Nolan Volsic knew he was going to play in the second game. They were going to switch no matter what. And he's come up big tonight. Not able to keep it in the zone was Hetzel. Volsic, 6'2", 185 in his third season with Arizona. Played 14 games last year. His goals against was 1.85, and UNLV offside. He's come into this game winning 4 straight. And he's allowed only 6 goals in his last 4 games. 8 goals in his last 5 if we count tonight. But definitely if you look at his numbers, he's only faced 30 shots 3 times this season, 30 shots or more. So Arizona plays well in front of him defensively. Of course, they play well in front of Churro as well. And that's why Arizona's got 2 of the best goaltenders in the ACHA, but in addition to that, they also have one of the best defensive teams in hockey as well, or in the ACHA as well as the puck goes out of play. So that's why when you're down by 2 goals, and you got 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the game, that's why we can't, from a UNLV standpoint, waste too much more time making this a 1-goal game. Erickson takes a draw, wins it, but forced back into the UNLV end by Lowell as he chases it there with Barry. 3:25 to go in the game. Now into the offensive zone, there's Demizio. Cross-ice pass, doesn't find its mark. Demizio still maintains control, lays it off for Barry. Barry gets it down low to Muller. Muller back to Barry. Good pitch and catch between Muller and Barry. Back the other way, there's Demizio. Now to the point, Slapper blocked in front. A good job by Lowell, laying his body out to make sure that puck didn't get to his goaltender. Rebels still maintain control. Here's Barry. Cross ice pass. Shot blocked in front again. And Bailey Marshall laying out to make sure he protects his goaltender. But the Rebels still in control in the Arizona end. Slapper goes high. Chase there by DeMizio. Arizona able to clear it outside the zone. And we're going to have another penalty on Arizona as the Rebels shoot it in on Vivolsik, and he finally makes a save. So Arizona giving up another power play, and UNLV must take advantage of this right now, and not only take advantage of it quick. 2:27 to go in the game, and they need a quick one right now to make it a one-goal game. Obviously. Face-off will be in the left dot. And really from a UNLV standpoint, this has been a good weekend. They have potentially will sweep or split with one of the top teams in the country. And I think that and also keep in mind the computer rankings have not come out for a month, so that win against Minot, another top 5 team, will also be factored in those computer rankings. So we'll see on Wednesday where UNLV moves up, but they definitely will move up. And if they don't, I will throw my hands up and say I no idea, as the empty net there from Arizona goes wide and it bounces off the post. So head coach Anthony Vigneri-Greener has decided to pull David Anderson, and the Rebels will have a 2-man advantage for the next minute 37, but they still got to get this one. They still got to get this one quick. And Anderson back in goal again until UNLV maintains control. Now it has control. Here's Sachs, the wraparound, doesn't get in, and Anderson gets back to the bench. So now a wide open net for UNLV. They have a 2-man advantage. 1:47 to go in the game, and they need a score quick. Puck goes high, shoots and scores! David Moore! And we got a 1-goal game, and Arizona is not happy. But now they're getting pulled off of each other, and we got a 1-goal game as Mueller pounds it home. And we got a 1-goal game as UNLV said no quit in us. And we're looking at the replay here, and it clearly was Mueller, and it looked like Vivolsik got hit high the way he flew back, and it looked like Vivolsik kind of may have gotten a stick high because he kind of just fell backwards, but then quickly regained control in his net. But by that time, Mueller had gotten it through the 5-hole. Now we have a 4-3 game with 1:43 to go. And this game ain't over yet. So the officials are looking at something that's clearly a goal. And we'll see exactly. Oh, okay, well, after the play, there was a skirmish, and you're going to have to assess penalties. Now, this is not a bad thing for UNLV. Fisher is going to go on, or check that Sachs will go off, which is a bad thing. And for Arizona, Hull will also go off as the fans start getting into it with 1:43 left. Mueller is announced as the goal scorer, so that goal is going to stand unassisted. But here's the problem. Too many men right now on the ice for UNLV. That's problem number one. And the second problem is having Sachs off the ice. Normally you would say, okay, well, this is a good thing for UNLV because, again, the more space out there to use their speed. But with Sachs off the ice, that's not a good thing. So he's going to be off for the rest of the game, and they won't have his services. So I think Chad Berman called the first timeout, and I think this timeout is by by UNLV, and it doesn't look like Berman called that timeout, but because Coach Berman wasn't talking to his players in any manner, so he didn't have anything to say to them. But it's exactly what you want to see out of UNLV, the no-die attitude, which they will need as they take into the Nationals, but they have a lot of work to go, to get there. DeMizio was spilled, and there's going to be a penalty. And UNLV is going to go to the power play with 1:36 left. And now let's see if Vigneri Greener wants to pull David Anderson, and I would think he would. And looking down at the goal mouth, there is no David Anderson, so UNLV's got a two-man advantage with a 1:33. They win a big draw back to Barry. Barry wants the return pass, looking for some room, shoots wide. Deflects all the way back to Barry. 1:22 left. Barry's the quarterback on this and gets it in down deep to Underwood. Underwood over to Barry. Barry in front. Back down again to Underwood. Cross ice pass. Can't find anybody in front. Here's Moeller. Moeller back to Mazzillo, and that shot goes wide as well, and all the way out of the zone as Barry's got to go back to regroup. 54 seconds left. UNLV's have a two-man advantage. Big hit in front as Barry gets whacked, and the puck goes the length of the ice with 45 seconds left to go. The Rebels have maybe one or two opportunities, but the puck still is not in their possession, and Arizona's more than willing to try to clear it. Did not clear. Let's see if they will pay for that inability to clear. Here's Moeller. Moeller over to Barry. 23 seconds left. There's Mazzillo. Mazzillo walks in. Rebound shot, save! Picked up again by Underwood. Underwood blocked in front. 12 seconds to go. UNLV's got to get it off their stick quick. A good defensive effort by Arizona as Jones, check that. Meyer is able to get it the length of the ice, and that's going to do it. Well, from an Arizona standpoint, they have got to exhale as they escaped City National Arena with a win. And they were a happy bunch, but and now a U of A chant starts, and that's always good to hear on your home ice. But the facts remain that UNLV was able to split with the fifth-ranked team in the country, which is not, it's something that is going to affect the computer rankings for sure. But from a UNLV standpoint, they expect to compete with a team like this, and they did this weekend. This team continues to move in a positive direction. And they will be back next week to take on the Sun Devils at Arizona State, also nationally ranked. So UNLV, although they lost tonight, they lost by a goal, and there was a part, I think, this week. I think they'll get back to practice, and I think they'll say we're fairly happy with what happened, as a couple of the Wildcats want to continue talking to the Rebels, and this is always a favorite part of mine to see exactly what happens after the games are over. But from a UNLV standpoint, I think there is a lot of positives to be taken out of this week. And keep in mind, this is a team that lost 9 straight games, and they are right back into the national picture because they've had big wins over top 5 teams. And from an Arizona standpoint, hopefully they're able to maintain their ranking as well, as they have already clinched their division, so their spot in the national tournament at the end of the year is secure. So final score from City National Arena, Arizona 4, UNLV 3. We'll be back next week against Arizona State. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Dana Lane. We will see you next week. 4 more home games for UNLV, so come out and support this team that is making their bid for the national tournament. Good night, everybody.